All right, so what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another segment of my usual recaps at the end of the day. This one is gonna be very, very cool because I think that we finally have a deciding factor in this annoying little recovery bounce, or what people will call it, reversal. But let's see and let's just get started. So first off, we're gonna start with SPY, just as always, and let's take a look at Spice chart. Also, we will talk about Facebook shortly, but not yet. Let's leave that one for last. So Spy, we had this little trend that I basically defined more or less when we started going down, and pretty much things were looking well. Spy was up above the 20-day, as you can see. It closed up above the 20-day. You know, it turned it into support into the session today, and it was just moving very well. And then it closed right at the 50-day EMA and below this little trend line right here. So how that looked, this literally by how the close was, and I didn't even think or care for Facebook earning reports and all that. So I was just trying to see how everything closed. I saw SPY. I was like, oh, okay, a bit of could be a interesting session. So let's see, we're gonna have any deciding factors on which way we're gonna go. And I looked at the Qs as well. The Qs more or less sort of the same scenario. We turned literally our 200-day cloud and our 20-day cloud into support, and we were able to basically gap it and hold it, right? But let me tell you what basically freaked the shit out of me when it came to the Qs close right before Facebook and everything. So this little fib retracement that you see, it's supposed to be inversed, right? I'm inverse. Why? Because I'm not looking for a bounce. I'm looking for a rejection as price moves up, right? So you can see the plots that I have here, more or less, blah blah blah, and then this is the important one here. This is 50% retracement. So the 50% retracement, 369.28. This could be off because I don't have them plotted to the exact number or whatever. So we see that 50%, and then anytime we're at a 50% on a fib, and we're looking for a bounce, we always want to hold it. Yeah, we dip a little bit below it, but we always want to see a close above to confirm, this continuing move higher. And to give you an example of what I mean, of how what I like to see on the fibs, here is basically the Nasdaq, right? So the Nasdaq, you see this golden pocket right here, just bounce, bounce, bounce. Once the 50% retracement was completely recovered, more or less, then you pretty much saw that next move up, right? So let's go back to the Qs. So by that close, I was like, okay, this is a bit alarming, but not that alarming because again, we're still above the 200-day. So it's going to be very interesting to see where we're going to go. And everything was fine. Before I keep going, overnight action was pretty much the same as you would expect. It was more of like a little bit of a trend-based session. Not that crazy, but there was a bit of a trend. It wasn't that just this is point A, this is point B, and we're just gonna play the box game with point A and B. So it was nice to see that there was a bit of a move, and names like the indices like the Dow and the Nasdaq was still a bit and SPX as well. So going into today, I was not focused on tech. I did not give a shit about SPX. I wanted to trade what was holding up, and it was the Dow. So going into the opening of the session, I mean, I pretty much played with my little support here that was used also as overnight support. As you can see, I caught a very nice move near the open. I actually filled around here for this low, caught this candle most of the way up. I exited way before we even touched this. And then I caught a little bit of extra little trades. Anytime support was held, I'll just ride it up, up, up. As you can see, it was nice. And if you look at, then the Qs and you look at SPY, and again, I can literally change this for the Nasdaq or SPX. I know some people prefer those. I feel comfortable with SPY and QQQ. It's what I basically have always used. But I do, obviously keep in mind the Nasdaq 100 and SPX when I'm trading them, right? So just want to throw that out there. You can see that basically the Qs, we opened, started just playing this little game right here, and then same thing with SPY. SPY looked like it was just gonna sell off. Once we've basically found our bid, same thing with the Qs, we sort of just reversed and then changed the course of action. But this course of action paid better on the Dow, as you can see, right? So that is why I decided to trade it. I did not trade any individual equity names today. I have not been liking equity names for a while, and we can scroll through the charts before I end the recap, and I can show you guys and explain to you guys why I have not just been liking how they've been. But I felt a lot more comfortable with indices, and I'm gonna keep trading indices most likely for the remainder of the month, just because I do not like individual equity names. So uh, let's keep going and let's address. I think this is gonna be a new thing, the elephant in the room. This is gonna be the whole new segment that I'll probably keep it going. The elephant in the room. The elephant in the room today is Facebook. Facebook. Such a heavy weighted tech company. And God, I know that there were perma bulls somewhere that were like, bro, Facebook is gonna smash, we're gonna rape, and we're gonna just, God, we're gonna squeeze these bears. And listen, I would have thought the same thing. Inventory has been trapped for the last 3 days. There has not been a relief. Bears have not been able to cover their shit. So they have just been trapped. And I didn't know that the market just started playing, cops and robbers, just straight up robbing, bears out of their poor money. It's not how it works, man. But it's happening. These poor bears are, being held hostage. It's very sad. But I stated this morning in the Discord, I said, inventory is it's been trapped for 3 days. Any red will most likely get bought up. The reason why I said that was because any red could have been used as shorts covering, right? Remember, shorts are not going to cover as the stock rises unless they my God, is that even a word? Unless they get squeezed very aggressive. But if price is slowly grinding upward, any down movement, you can assume the shorts are going to cover, just because they're going to try to minimize their losses, and they don't want to cover in the term of a squeeze. They rather cover when the stock is trying to pull back. They'll end it there, and whatever, they'll rip the band-aid off. So with how today opened, you can see that that's exactly what pretty much happened. You saw any red was just getting reversed on. Any red was getting reversed on. Any red was getting reversed. SPY, just any red reverse. The Dow, any red was just getting reversed and reversed. It was what it was. It was the sentiment. I was basically not even worried about the short side. It was more of a buy the dip. It was one of those sessions. All right. So let's move on to Facebook, right? So I noticed Facebook today, and I told everybody pretty much in the chat. I did say, guys, be careful with Facebook. Facebook is literally pinned up against supply. What is supply? Supply, I use them as all these indicators here. These are all moving averages. These are 5 and 10 day, or 20 days, or 50 days, or 200 days, and then the black is the 100 day, and the little light green one, more or less, is the 150 day. So anytime price action is below these specific indicators, to me, that is supply. Anytime price action is above, that is demand. As you can see, Facebook completely pinned against it. And not only that, to make things even, better, you have this little individual resistance. Now it was support, but it was a resistance zone that you could have, looked at. And then when we change to the weekly, that just looks even better. Just look at this. Wow, absolutely nuts. But this looks even crazier when you let go and you see everything we're pinned up against. So once I saw this, I said, be careful. But again, this was not enough for me to go play earnings and play the downside just because we were pinned. I personally, I don't believe that charts set up for earnings. Some people do. I don't believe it, just because so many things can affect what happens with earnings that I have never really been convinced of that. So Facebook completely shit the bed. They basically lowered their guidance, and this caused and still going 22% decline. That is nuts for a high beta name, a big mega cap like Facebook, to have such an aggressive, basically after hour sell off after earnings. It actually reminds me of something like Netflix, right? Because when we look at the daily, right? Where are we? We're not here. We're here, guys. We're here. This little blue, look at where everything is here. And now we're here, right? So it's all going to depend on what's going to happen in this next quarter that Facebook will try to do, right? So obviously this will probably present some gap fill scenario. I'm pretty sure some hedge fund manager is gonna pull a Bill Ackman. Oh, we've been waiting to buy Facebook at the low, so the metaverse. Something's always gonna happen. There's always gonna be a manipulator in sight. Look at Bill Ackman. I said it yesterday. This guy saved Netflix. Their shareholders must be so happy. They were buying shares as well. So it is what it is. But I think that Facebook is just going to be another Netflix. This is going to gap down. It's going to sit like in range for a bit. Some big hedge fund guy is going to come out and say, hey, this is a great price to buy Facebook. And it's going to happen. But what does this mean for the indices? How are we supposed to move? So the Qs right now, the Qs are at 361. If we go back to our Qs chart, right, 366, 363 is more or less our 200-day cloud. And we are right here. So we're below the cloud again, right? Not going to call it. I need to see overnight action. I want to see what happens. But there may be a good possibility that if we hold these levels to the downside, that we can possibly, oh my Lord, I forgot to talk today, that we can possibly see more downside action. And I will be so excited and happy to see that. If it doesn't happen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Amazon reports Thursday. So this is going to be the last hope at this rate. So we have to see what is really going to happen at this point. Will Amazon pretty much save the market, or will Amazon, lower their guidance as well? No stock split. I mean, also, I'm not saying they're going to stock split. If they do announce it, that would be like the perfect just breakout. But if it doesn't happen and they give a lower guidance, I personally think that we're going to go for this hammer wick fill. We're going to break that level if we do see more selling, So let's see what happens. I don't have any individual equity names I'm going to be watching into tomorrow. Anything I do decide to watch, I will obviously post in the Discord and whatnot. But just as we're progressing, I'm not a big fan of earnings season. I have said this countless times. I don't like trading options when, most high beta tech names, which is what I trade, are reporting earnings. So I tend to stay away. It's what I'm doing. I'll just let the market do its thing. I'm not going to be trading options with this chop. I'm just going to be trying to get by with indices and focusing on my cash flow and trying to protect, capital and just focus on cash and cash and cash. All right. So with this being said, guys, thank you again for tuning into another segment. I will definitely keep doing this for you guys so long as, I can literally sit here and do it. But have a great rest of your evening to you guys. I hope you all have an amazing session tomorrow. And just remember, Friday, NFP report, right? So NFP, non-farm payroll, not a good day to be trading. So don't go crazy on Thursday wanting to swing into Friday. Keep this in mind, okay? NFP, very, very volatile event that happens. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So focus again on holding that cushion that you've been building for the week so we can get more decent and directional sessions as the month progresses and you can risk more to make more. All right. So take care, guys. I will see you all on the next one.